The words are stupid and unnecessary. Okay, so if you look at Assad's nerve gassing of civilians, stupid and unnecessary. Okay, if you look at Lil Kim's kind of missiles coming out of North Korea, stupid and unnecessary. Right? What's the strategic aim of those actions? There really isn't any. You know, what Assad did could have been achieved through conventional means, and it was stupid and unnecessary. So the response from the Trump regime brings back a bit of that moral authority that the U.S. has yet to regain, okay? So if you're, you know, it was designed as a way to not take out civilians. In fact, they avoided hitting a nerve gas
Totally respectfully, I would dispute that with the strongest possible force, because if President Trump really cared about Syrian people and Syrian children, then he would grant them asylum, surely.
When you speak to, and I've seen interviews over the past few days with Syrians on the ground who say they don't want to go anywhere else. They want to stay in Syria. So, you know, yes, that's a convenient approach, but I don't necessarily think it's a realistic approach. I think when Syrians on the ground want to stay in Syria, but you're taking out the vehicles through which innocents have been killed, okay? And also, I'm sure all of us have been in Japan at one time or another when a missile was shot up from North Korea. I have been. And it's kind of terrifying because you don't really know if it's real or not, right?
And whether it's going to reach.
Whether it's going to reach, whether it's going to hit, yeah.
Right, exactly. Yep. So these are stupid and unnecessary actions. And I think having that crisp judgment to say, this is endangering two of our closest allies in the world in Korea and Japan, and whether or not, if they're successful or not, do we want to take that gamble?
So I'm not putting forward an opinion here on when Donald Trump was right or wrong. What I'm saying is he did what he did, but the result of those actions seem to have resulted in an escalation of tensions, geopolitical tensions. So you look at Iran, you look at Russia. I mean, you can't say that Russia's comments have not escalated the controversial nature of the relationship.
But look at the evidence. Look at the evidence. So Russia knew about the Syria attack an hour before it happened. Okay, did they tell the Assad regime? No, none of those planes were moved. Okay, none of those assets were moved. So Russia, I believe, is as embarrassed of the actions that Assad took as anybody else. So if he had endorsed the chemical actions that Assad took, he would have run to his ally and said, hey, this is coming, you know, you need to move your planes. But he didn't. There was a consequence for their actions.